Today, we're going to look at Troy Ashman's portfolio website, which is really well done and has some really strong projects on it. So whether you're looking for inspiration or you just want to see what a really good portfolio website looks like, stay tuned. So I met Troy back in 2020 on LinkedIn when we were talking about some XAPI stuff. But later in the year, he put together a really strong portfolio website and he started submitting entries to the show, which is an e-learning competition that Kath Ellis helped put on. So he did really well in that competition. He created some really strong projects that caught a lot of people's attention. And now he's featured it all in this really strong portfolio redesign that we're going to look at today. And remember, Troy just told me he's actively working on revising it. So like with most people, this portfolio is a work in progress, as they always are. But I think that you will definitely get some inspiration seeing what Troy has been able to accomplish here. So here we are on troyashman.com, and you can see, again, he has this really strong branded color. So this orange color here, if you saw the portfolio review last week of Kath Ellis's site, you will see a lot of similarities here. Kath has inspired Troy just as she has me and many other e-learning designers out there. So this hero section, we can see this nice stylized blob type image with Troy within it. So really, it's kind of playful and fun and friendly and inviting. So I like this branding here. We can see Troy Ashman, very bold. This is where our eyes go first. Nice, strong hierarchy. He has his title beneath it. Learning experience designer is how he identifies. And he helps businesses achieve their goals with innovative, interactive, and creative learning experiences. So we get who he is, what he does, and his value proposition, how he helps businesses. So again, this does seem to be positioned for freelance opportunities. Troy does hold a full-time job right now. This site does generate him a lot of leads, and a lot of other IDs reach out to him for coaching and mentoring and things along those lines, just because of how cool some of his projects are. And he also creates helpful content, which we will see soon. So you can see the call to action right here. Troy immediately wants you to get in touch and reach out to him about your potential project or potential need. But he also has this secondary call to action. So you notice this one is more saturated. It's this orange background, very bold button asking us to get in touch. But also, if we aren't ready to make that step and reach out, we have this secondary option, which has a little less visual weight. Our eyes are drawn to this first and this second to explore the work. So I really like how he did this here. It's like, contact me about a project. If you're not ready to do that, then check out my projects. But before we click on either of these, let's see what else we have in store here. So a nice full width selection of some of Troy's projects that we can see here. I kind of wish that I could click on these to learn more about them, but I think it's just visuals right here. But it could be a nice entry point into the portfolio. If we scroll down more, Troy talks about ways that he can help us. So these are like his services. So bespoke learning experiences, animated videos, gamification design, and responsive learning apps. So a nice selection of services. There is a secondary call to action up here to view all services. And we have this call to action here to get in touch. Only thing, it doesn't feel like there's a ton of contrast between this get in touch and this background. So maybe Troy could improve the contrast here with how he's using this color. And then also I'm just looking at alignment. I'm looking at where this text starts. It seems like this text is aligned, this one here and this one here. Maybe there's an opportunity to kind of shrink this, the layout for these cards a bit. So maybe instead of having all 4 cards on one row, maybe we could start this card in left alignment with this, and then just kind of shrink this whole layout and maybe make it a 2x2 kind of design or something like that. Maybe the cards could be a bit wider so that they can fill up this space in 2 different rows instead of 1 row, but not a big deal. It still looks good. There's just not much padding on the left of these cards, but I know Troy mentioned he's still working on making this look great on every breakpoint. If if you've spent much time designing websites, you know it is very hard getting things to look really good on every single device at every single breakpoint. It's a process, it's a project, definitely something to work on. But notice here, he's keeping in line with this friendly branding. He's using these blobs here, just like he is with his logo, which doubles as a photo of himself. So very inviting. I love the energy that these kind of give off. Here we go. We're getting into the testimonials. Troy says, don't just take my word for it. Let's see all of these nice things that his past clients and employers and coworkers maybe have all said. So he even says view on LinkedIn, like this is a real person. I'm not making this stuff up. So I like that he has that call to action there. Again, I'm looking at alignment. I think maybe if this text was in alignment with this heading, it could look a bit more clean, like layout wise. That would have this arrow kind of going off to the left of the bucket, and that sounds like it would be tricky from a development standpoint. But could be worth trying, just shifting this text to the left so that it is aligned with that heading. But it still looks really good. If we scroll down a bit more, here is this really bold, full orange section. Subscribe today and enjoy the latest news fresh in your inbox. So Troy has a mailing list. He wants people to subscribe. And I love that on this banner, he didn't just use this color. He also featured a mock-up from one of these really, really nice looking projects. Like this looks like a professional quality app. And this is something that Troy is highlighting in his portfolio. So if you are creating work that looks this good, definitely highlight it in spots like this. Like if you saw last week on Kath Ellis's portfolio review, how Kath has these like full screen mock-ups that show off her e-learning on a real device. Really good to incorporate visuals like this throughout the portfolio website. So then we have a footer. Looks very similar to most of the footers you've seen in this portfolio review series. And again, there's an option to subscribe to Troy's mailing list. So good stuff here. Let's go to the top. Let's dive into this. So something I do feel is missing from this homepage is I want to learn more about your work on this homepage. So I think this section right here, there's a big opportunity. Maybe beneath each one of these images, tell us a bit about the project. Like what is the title of the project? What problem is it solving? And then maybe give us a call to action to dive in and explore the write-up for that project and maybe even experience it for ourselves. Because again, exploring the work, that is the best way to build your credibility with a site like that. Show off your projects, show off the results you've helped produce. That's really going to probably help with the number and quality of leads that you are receiving. But Troy does have the work available, so it just, we just need to use this secondary call to action here. Here we are on his portfolio. Very simple, very clean. I love how he's highlighting this logo again. Portfolio, explore my craft. All right. So here we are. So this is kind of what I was looking for on the homepage, but sure enough, he has it on the full portfolio. This is a really cool Glide app that he created. So we can see it's a write-up. It's a responsive mobile app developed in Glide Apps. It encourages the local community to explore the neighborhood. So he has a micro site that he built for this. Nice call to action to get the app. So this is just very professional. Like Troy created all of this. This is like a high-end landing page. So as e-learning designers and developers, when we show off these web dev skills like this and these design skills, that is really building your credibility. Like this looks so nice how he featured these mock-ups and these different screens from the app. Really cool. Get the app. So if we click that, here we are. This is built with Glide. So glideapp.io. And if we enter our email address, we can get a pin to sign in. And there are some really cool features in this. So feel free to check it out if you have not already. But just a really cool local app that he built in 2020. So something that I do wish we could see more of here, I'm kind of wishing I could see some screenshots. So some screenshots of the app, and I know he included some on that microsite, but I want to see more about his process. Like he talks about the need. He talks about a microsite was developed, but I think that Troy developed this. So using some more language, like I developed this site with these tools, maybe even talking about challenges he faced, but overall just talking about maybe the results that it produced. How did the site lead to people downloading the app? What did you include on the site and why? Like giving those insights into your design process and approach. I think that can really help build your credibility and just at the very least help other designers who are curious, like how did you build this exactly? But this is cool. I'm sure Troy has produced some content on that. And we have this nice video here, which does show off the app itself. But there's a lot to cover. I do want to explore more of these. I love this project, these visuals. But something I'm noticing just from a user experience perspective, when I go into, like, I want to go into some of these projects and I find myself wanting to click on the image or the title. I think it's really good to have a button like this because sometimes it's not intuitive to click on the image or the title. But I would suggest making each of these elements clickable so that when you do select the image or the title or the Learn More button, it all brings you to the same place, right? So minor thing, I noticed that clicking on this doesn't work, so I look down and I obviously will see that Learn More button, so I think that is perfectly fine. I just wish that these pieces were interactive as well. So let's check this out. Exploring aircraft cabins. So it's a series of e-learning courses. It features these, it has these key goals. And again, not a super detailed write-up. That's okay. But I would like to see a bit more about the design and development process. Maybe it's just me, but I think that that does definitely add something to a write-up when we can see what did you do to bring this thing to life. Like, yeah. It talks about the project well, but I want to see the story of Troy's involvement in the project, if that makes sense. So we can see this nice GIF here. We can see these. It's a really professional looking project. Nice interactions, nice icons. Look at this. Real photography included. So this is obviously a very high-end project, and I can see how this is really building Troy's credibility here. So we have this option to read the blog post. So if I select that, this seems to be where Troy's telling the story about his involvement in this project. So here we go. Now we see Troy's goals. Here's what Troy wanted out of these courses. He wanted it to leverage a sense of motion and movement. Love that. Move beyond the next button. Yes, and here's the outcome. So this is the kind of stuff we want to see. And we can scroll through these screenshots in this nice gallery type format. So again, you'll notice, when we were looking at Kath Ellis's site, similar type of thing. Troy definitely dives deeper here. I kind of wish that these blog posts and this portfolio write-ups were kind of combined into one. Or at least add another paragraph here and make this more focused on your involvement and more active about the role that you played in these things. Just because some hiring managers and potential clients might say, okay, yes, Troy worked on this, but what role did he really play? Did he do all of these visuals? Did he do the full instructional design and development? Was he just project managing? He mentions the skills here, but when you talk about the story and say, I did this, then I did that, then I did that, and we achieved these results, I think that it sends a much stronger message. But I do like that he has this option for people who do want to learn more. So here we go. Here's that format again. I do find myself wishing I could kind of like click and drag to go to the next one, but it seems like to move to the next one here, you have to select these buttons. So probably just a function of the theme Troy is using here. It's just finding the right interaction that has all of the features he needs. But that is a really good looking project. And here we go. So we have this call to action to keep exploring. So I'm looking at alignment here. I would like to see this heading kind of aligned with the images or this section here. So maybe moving this to the left, maybe moving this to the right, just to see those really strong lines going down the layout. All right, maybe even making these a bit wider to match that alignment. Or making these other boxes smaller to match the alignment above, but keeping that full container consistent. It can be a plus. Consistency is a good thing here, but at the very least, maybe aligning these pieces to their edges. So let's see. Let's look at this one. Like, I love the visuals here. I love how they're featured. Look at how cool these designs are. Very nice use of color, and we can actually explore a demo here. So if we select that. Hot Noodle. Look at how, this is just so cool. I do not feel like I'm in an e-learning experience at all. This is like a custom loading screen for like an app, and that is really, really cool. So select an avatar. Let's go with this guy. Really nice sound effect. Pick a name, a nickname. We'll go with Dev. Nice UI of sound effects. Okay, arise the Noodle hero. Am I ready to unite and arise as the Noodle hero against bullying and harassment at Hot Noodle? So really cool. So we can learn more about this, of course. So he talks about how this was a submission to the show. And like I said, a few of these projects are submissions to the show here. And this is where we all as a learning and development community were able to see Troy's creativity and development skills and graphic design skills. Like he really rose to the top in this friendly competition. But okay, so it is a digital solution to train this CEO's team on bullying and harassment. So you want to reduce bullying and harassment. I'm not sure why some of these are locked, but we are able to select them. But maybe it's just indicating that they're not complete yet. But let's see what we need to know. So there we go. Look at, really nice interactions, nice animations, nice sound effects. Look at these. Oh, nice. And look at this. Troy obviously had some fun with this. I think this is all done in Storyline, right? Yeah, this is Storyline output. So I love when people create projects in a slide-based authoring tool like Articulate Storyline, but they make it feel like it's a completely different tool or a completely custom app build, for example. So really did a good job with these UX, UI, UX effects, or I guess user interface animations, these nice hover effects. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can see this is a really professional high-end piece. Definitely explore this on your own time to see what Troy was able to accomplish here. So again, would like to see some screenshots and hear more about Troy's process throughout, but he does, okay, good. So he kind of have these separated. I think maybe in his next portfolio iteration, he can kind of combine these a bit. And maybe this is for the potential clients who want to see what did Troy all do for this? How did he go about this? It's a place for Troy to highlight his attention to detail, how he works through problems, and just show screenshots and tastes of the course. Maybe show off the best looking screens or the best looking interactions for someone who isn't going to go through the entire thing. So loving that so far. And then he shows about the critique he got on the actual competition itself and his presentation for the project. So there we go. Let's maybe look at one more project here that I remember really liking of Troy's. So we'll go back to the portfolio. And it is this supermarket HR assist project. And like I said, explore the other ones here. All of these projects are really strong. But this was another entry for the show. And notice this, he used Articulate Storyline and a chatbot tool called landbot.io. So this is for this fresh supermarket. It's helping them keep up to date on evolving policy changes. So Troy's concept here is we want to minimize having to rework content. But check this out. This is built in Storyline. So this full screen video background, this really nice hover effect on this button, Explore HR Assist. So here we go, a really clean, nice looking menu. Again, we can learn more about each option when we hover over it. But a really cool feature of this, which I really want to show you, notice this icon in the bottom right. This is how we can open the chatbot. So this is a chatbot embedded within a Storyline course where if we don't want to go through these menus, we can just get exactly what we need from the chatbot. And check out one more thing. If we press About HR Assist, there's even an option to just get this chatbot on the go. So this is called Joy at Fresh. So hey there, I'm Joy from the Fresh team. Notice that. If we want to get this on the go, Troy gives us a QR code to scan, and then we can just have this chatbot on our phone so that we can get the latest Fresh policies on the go. So it is so cool. Obviously, it took some technical chops to get this all working. And Troy did some really cool stuff with Storyline to make it have this really, these full screen background images. I love that Troy is just pushing the boundaries of what is possible with these slide-based authoring tools and making it feel like a completely different experience. So if you're looking for some inspiration, spend some time on Troy's portfolio website. Let's look at a couple more pages here just to see what else Troy is doing on this site. So services, e-learning, video, print, web apps, and more. So talking about a lot of things here. I didn't notice any print pieces. The web apps, definitely. E-learning for sure. From the projects we saw, he's doing a great job with those pieces. And again, this does look similar to Kath Ellis's services page, where we can see all the different ways that Troy Ashman can help us. I like that it is on a separate page, because again, if someone goes to your homepage and they see you list, 6 to 10 different services, they're gonna not really know where to start, and they may want to find someone who is saying, okay, I'm going to design the best bespoke e-learning experience you can think of. Just instead of, basically, it's like you don't want to spread yourself too thin on your homepage, but people who have already explored Troy's portfolio and website, and they say, okay, he really knows his stuff. We need an e-learning project done, but we also have some other similar needs. Maybe a page like this could show them that, okay, we can also reach out to Troy about these other pieces. And of course, this really strong get in touch call to action at the bottom of this page here. And let's see. Oh, and of course, the blog. We already landed on a couple of Troy's blog pages. Strong call to action so that we can get the latest updates. And then we can see Troy is committed to lifelong learning. He has these key takeaways from conferences. He has these tutorials to help people use the tools that he's using. Look, he has a tutorial about how he embedded that chatbot in the Storyline project. So we love, whoever you are, whether you're a client, an employer, or even a fellow learning designer or an aspiring learning designer, like having some content that helps the community is always a good look. It shows that you're committed to giving back, and it helps bring the rest of the industry along with you. So whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for over a decade, I bet you that your perspective can help some people, and that tough technical things that you've had to figure out, I bet you can put together a good portfolio or a good tutorial that will help other people do it more easily. So creating content, always a good idea. Make sure you have a few solid portfolio projects first, I would say, but it can never hurt. And then let's finally check out Troy's About page. Nice message, nice and personal. Hey there, I'm Troy. This conversational tone. We can see a bit about Troy's perspective on what makes a great learning experience. And we can already see that. I'm a strong believer in lifelong learning. So I love that instead of just telling us these things, Troy is showing us and reinforcing that with so many different things on his website. So overall, a great site. We can see formal education. These little things are obviously going to build his credibility with potential clients and employers. We can see which tools he's comfortable with. So the technology. Oh, this is a nice interaction here. Again, you've heard me say this before, but showing off nice little interactions like this on your portfolio website, it really shows off your ability to create these kind of interactive experiences. So instead of just having it in your e-learning projects, also bring that into your website as you find the time to do so. So all of these logos, I like this. It's building its credibility. We're seeing logos we recognize. That makes us more confident. And in being on this site, right, it's comforting, makes it seem more legitimate. And then this strong call to action to go ahead and get in touch. So have a project you need a hand with. So I would think maybe making some of these headings bold, just because this color doesn't have a ton of contrast between the white background. But again, a simple contact form, privacy policy, send that inquiry. So there we go. I mean, a great portfolio site. Spend some time here if you are looking for inspiration, or just, I know Troy is constantly working on this. So by the time you do go there, it will likely be even better and have some new features and some new content. So he's a great person to follow, very talented. If you're looking for any portfolio help from me to create a great portfolio like this, definitely check out the Portfolio Bootcamp. I mean, that is my program dedicated to helping people create portfolio websites. So that's idbootcamp.com. And I have a growing playlist of many, many portfolio reviews just like this. So if this is the first one you're seeing, make sure to check out the others. I'll add all of those links and the links to Troy's content beneath this video, and I will see you in the next one.